WRGM ESPN 106.7 FM. It is Jay Fox. We are live at the Indy at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. And Conor Daly is with us from the Ed Carpenter racing team. Conor, how are you?
Great, man.
Good.
Good weekend so far, although short, but it's going to be fun.
So, how did you get started in racing? What sparked your interest in wheels?
My family. My dad was a race car driver. I raced in Formula One, 6 Indy 500s, so knew all about it when I grew up because when I came out of the womb, everything was racing. My mom worked at the racetrack at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, so everything about my life was revolving around racing, traveling to races. I played other sports before I got into racing, but
Played soccer?
Played soccer,
Yep.
basketball, football, lacrosse, but really as soon as I got into a go-kart at age 10, that's what I really decided that I actually enjoy this and I want to put all of my life into it. For sure.
So was the go-kart experience, how fast can we get this engine to go? Is that where you were at?
Well, no. I mean, it's just performance. We're at a little road course, so figured out how to turn right and left, and tried to do the best job we could, and we didn't suck at it. So that was important.
What was your first car when you were 16? Do you remember?
Yeah, because I still have it. It's the only car that I own.
That's great.
Yeah. It's my.
Given that you're 17 now, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 12 years later, whatever. I have a Subaru WRX, so that's about all I got.
Was it a manual?
Oh yeah. Of course,
okay. Yeah, gotta have a manual.
Absolutely. But I have a Chevy Tahoe thanks to the team. So it's all about Team Chevy.
So, your first race, do you remember it?
No.
No.
Not my first go-kart race. I've done.
No, I mean your first.
Hundreds of races.
Yeah, of course. But your first race on a track, like what you're going to do today.
A car race?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was 15.
So first race.
First race.
Where were you?
I actually have no idea where I was. Sebring, I think. Sebring in Florida. The Skip Barber National Series as it was, or the Regional Series as it was at the time. I was 15 and got into cars for the first time. I was racing against guys like Joseph Newgarden, who is still here this weekend, and guys that have also been to IndyCar, that have been to sports cars. So it was a really great group of guys to race against. And once we got into cars, it was the rest is history. You just kind of keep riding the lightning up the ranks.
I've talked to athletes from a myriad of other sports in my career, and every athlete I've talked to can point to one athlete from their sport of choice as their idol, their hero. Who's yours for racing?
I always answer that question with multiple answers because I think there's a lot of guys that I've met, but there's also people that I haven't met that were really inspirational, like Ayrton Senna from Formula One. I never got to meet him, but he was an incredible talent and an incredible will to win and drive the car as fast as humanly possible. Michael Schumacher was such an incredible talent, 7-time world champion, obviously. But on the IndyCar side, guys like Dan Weldon, guys like Thomas Scheckter, who not a lot of people would say that, but what he did on the track was such an incredible deal, and it was so exciting that I wanted to be an exciting driver. I wanted to be someone who did cool stuff, but was also successful. So there's a lot of guys that I look up to for sure as we come up.
What does it take to be successful in racing?
Honestly, I'd say it's the biggest combination of things over any other sport. Football, basketball, baseball, you got to have a natural talent for what you're doing. But if you're the fittest athlete and you work the hardest at your craft, you will do better than the other person. Whereas racing, we've got a lot of things that we rely on. We rely on our crew guys, we rely on our engines, we rely on our cars, we rely on the tires, we rely on so many things that directly inhibit or help our performance.
Right.
A driver's only going to go as fast as the car will allow him to go. It doesn't matter if you're the best driver on the planet or the worst driver. That if you have the best car on that day, you better be the best driver to get the most out of it. And so that's why our sport is so difficult, because you could have a lucky day, you could hit the setup just right. There's such a diverse range of things that we can do to these cars that you've got to be the smartest with your engineer. You've got to work together as a team to make sure that when you get to race time, you put out the best possible car so the driver can me, I can do my job.
So a lot of spectators assume that you get in the car and you drive, and that's all the training you need.
Yeah.
What physical fitness exercises do you have to engage in to stay in shape to race? Because there is some part to that.
I mean, it's the major part of our sport for sure. If the car gets ahead of you, if you're physically behind the car, you're in a very dangerous position, because you put your own life in danger, you put other lives in danger, and yeah, like racing is for sure one of the most commonly misinterpreted sports when it comes to physicality, because people don't think past what they see. They can't think past, oh, well, that doesn't look hard, because you go out and drive every day, but that's not the same thing.
Right. So is it the cardiovascular exercise that's the most important, because your heart rate's up so much?
Only competitive cyclists have as high of a sustained heart rate for a longer distance. So we're at absolute maximum for the entire race. Averaging the data that I've got so far this year, multiple races were averaged for 2.5 hours, over 150 beats per minute with a maximum of 180 beats per minute. So, there's an incredible amount of physicality both from your arms. You're losing water weight because it's 140 to 145 degrees in the car at the same time. There's no relief. There's no rest. You're in the pits for 6 seconds, maybe 30 seconds total as you're going down the pit lane, and that's your only rest. So you're at maximum attack, not only trying to survive, because what we're doing is a very dangerous sport too. If you make a mistake, that's not great for you or for others too. So there's so much that goes into it. We train like triathletes, train 2 to 3 times a day. Some drivers are triathletes as well. Triathletes that also have to be extremely strong, upper body, core, and legs, because we hit the brake pedal with 1,500 psi of pressure about 1,000 times a day. So
and we learned earlier today that the G-force is high.
Yeah,
Was
very
it
high
5 to
G
7?
loads. Yeah, well, let's say 3 to 5 Gs, which is essentially close to like a space shuttle launch.
Right.
So there's a lot there that we have to go through, and it's just something that I think people should maybe look at a little bit more before you judge what it is on the outside.
So if the boxer's fists are lethal weapons outside the ring, is the lethal weapon your feet?
No, it's not your feet. The feet's the easiest part.
Is that right?
It's your hands.
It's your hands.
Smooth hands, what you do with them, how you feel every bit of the road, and how you deliver the load to basically deliver the load to the tire.
Okay, so what kind of driver are you when you're not on the track, when you're just driving normally?
Well, I hate the roads.
Patient? Or
nope, hate everything about the roads. I would say I'm way more patient than others, but driving on the road is terrifying. I think 95% of the people on the road, it's amazing that they have a license, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
All right, you're going to race in about an hour and a half. What are the keys to victory today?
Honestly, it's staying in the fight. I mean, we start up towards the front, so we got to stay there and be able to take advantage of someone else's mistakes. Everyone around us is really good.
Hard banks that you got to go over on this course. It's not an easy course.
No. This is one of the most physically difficult tracks and technically challenging tracks that we have all year for sure. So there's a lot that we will have to think about. There's a lot that we can do to hopefully help the car for the race. But I mean, we're close to the front, so if we can make up some spots at the beginning and then just stay in it towards the end, and we can get on the podium.
Sounds great. We want to thank our friends from the United States Air Force for allowing us to be here today. Conor Daly, we're looking for a win at 5 o'clock. And you are watching WRGM ESPN 106.7, Mansfield, Ohio.